Time stands still for parents when their child disappears. In Portugal's sun-drenched resort town of Praia da Luz, one family's vacation became the starting point of an investigation that captured worldwide attention. This is the story of Madeleine McCann. On May 3, 2007, Kate and Jerry McCann tucked their 3 children into bed in apartment 5A at the Ocean Club Resort. 3-year-old Madeleine slept alongside her twin siblings, Sean and Amelie. The parents joined their friends for dinner at a tapas restaurant just 55 meters away, checking on the children throughout the evening. At 10 p.m., Kate McCann discovered Madeleine's bed empty. The following hours sparked one of the most extensive missing person searches in history. Police arrived within minutes. Resort staff and guests formed search parties. By sunrise, Madeleine's photo circulated across Portugal. The investigation grew beyond borders. British police joined Portuguese authorities. Millions watched news coverage spread across continents. Madeleine's face appeared on posters, billboards, and screens worldwide. Her disappearance touched something profound in people everywhere, the primal fear of a child vanishing without explanation. What happened in apartment 5A that night? The answer remains hidden, despite countless hours of investigation, thousands of leads, and millions in resources dedicated to finding Madeleine. Every parent who heard the story asked themselves the same question: what if this happened to my child? In this true crime story, we shall examine the evidence, trace the investigation's path, and share new developments that continue to emerge. Subscribe to our channel for the complete series, where we'll analyze witness statements, study key locations, and review the theories that still drive this active case forward. This is more than a mystery, it's an ongoing search for truth, justice, and answers for a family who still waits for their daughter to come home. Praia da Luz sits along Portugal's southern coast, where gentle waves meet golden sand beaches. This quiet fishing village-turned-holiday destination drew thousands of families each year, including the McCanns in the spring of 2007. The Ocean Club Resort stood as a collection of whitewashed apartments and villas, surrounded by well-maintained gardens and swimming pools. The McCann family arrived on April 28, 2007, ready for their spring vacation. Kate and Jerry McCann, both accomplished medical professionals from Leicestershire, England, brought their 3 children, Madeleine, nearly 4, and 2-year-old twins Sean and Amelie. Kate worked as a GP, Jerry as a renowned cardiologist. They chose this destination through their travel club, Mark Warner Holidays, known for family-friendly accommodations. Madeleine Beth McCann captured attention wherever she went. Her bright blue-green eyes had a unique mark, a dark strip in her right iris. She loved running, swimming, and playing with her younger siblings. Her parents described her as an engaged, active child who brought energy into every room. They stayed in apartment 5A, a ground-floor unit at the Ocean Club. The apartment opened to a street on one side and faced the resort's tennis courts and swimming pool on the other. A small balcony overlooked the tapas restaurant where the parents would dine each evening. The McCanns traveled with 7 friends, all medical professionals with young children. These friends became known in the media as the Tapas 7, Jane Tanner and Russell O'Brien, Matthew and Rachel Oldfield, David and Fiona Payne, and Diane Webster. Their daily routine followed a steady pattern. Mornings began with breakfast in their apartments. The children attended the resort's kids' club while parents enjoyed tennis or other activities. Afternoons meant family time by the pool. Evenings saw the children tucked into bed by 7:30 p.m., allowing the adults to gather for dinner at 8:30 p.m. The group established a checking system for their children. Every 30 minutes, one parent would leave the tapas restaurant to check on the sleeping children in their respective apartments. The restaurant sat just 55 meters from the McCann's apartment, visible through the evening air. On May 3, the pattern remained unchanged. The morning passed with mini tennis. A family photo captured Madeleine by the pool at 2:29 p.m., the last verified photograph of her. Kate and Jerry spent the afternoon with their children before starting the bedtime routine at 6 p.m. The children had their baths. Madeleine wore her favorite pink and white cotton pajamas. The twins settled into their travel cots, Madeleine in her bed beneath the window. The bedroom window shutters stayed closed, but the patio doors remained unlocked, standard practice for the group to ease their regular checks. By 8:30 p.m., Kate and Jerry joined their friends at the tapas restaurant. The evening began like any other. The group ordered wine, shared stories about their day, planned activities for tomorrow. No one at the table could know these ordinary moments marked the last hours before everything changed. Multiple staff members noted the regular parent checks throughout the evening. The resort's schedule showed normal activity, tennis lessons ending, the last swimmers leaving the pool, early diners finishing their meals. The warm spring air carried conversations across the pool area, mixing with the distant sound of waves. The tranquility of Praia da Luz, the routine of vacation life, the safety felt by holidaymakers, all these elements created a scene where the McCanns, like many families before them, felt secure enough to maintain this dinner arrangement. The distance seemed small, the checks frequent, the area peaceful. The evening of May 3, 2007, marked its hours like any other at the Ocean Club Resort. The tapas restaurant buzzed with conversation. Kate McCann rose from her seat at 10 p.m., heading toward apartment 5A for a routine check on her children. She approached through the sliding patio doors, noting the bedroom door was wide open, wider than she'd left it. The cool breeze touched her skin. The window shutters, closed earlier, now stood raised. The curtains moved in the wind. Madeleine's bed lay empty. The pink blanket pulled back, her beloved cuddle cat toy still on the pillow. The twins, Sean and Amelie, slept soundly in their travel cots. Kate searched the apartment, bathroom, kitchen, living room, every cupboard. She ran back to the restaurant, her voice carrying across the pool area, "They've taken her." The next moments exploded into action. Jerry McCann and their friends scattered across the resort. Staff members joined the search. The police received their first call at 10:14 p.m. Jane Tanner, one of the tapas 7, had noticed something at 9:15 p.m. during her own check on her children. She observed a man carrying a child in pink pajamas, walking quickly across the road from the apartment. The sighting would become central to early investigations. The Guardia Nacional Republicana arrived at 11 p.m. They found the apartment filled with people, friends, staff, concerned guests. The crime scene, critical for evidence, had been compromised by well-meaning searchers. Through the night, calls echoed through Praia da Luz's streets, "Madeleine! Madeleine!" Resort staff checked every room, every storage area. Local residents joined the search, combing the beach with flashlights. By midnight, word spread through the small town. British tourists left their beds to help. The search expanded street by street, incorporating nearby buildings, empty apartments, construction sites. The Polícia Judiciária, Portugal's criminal investigation unit, began their work at first light. They documented the scene. The bedroom window remained accessible from the street, with no signs of forced entry. The shutters had been raised without damage, and the bed showed signs of use. Remarkably, the twins continued to sleep deeply through the chaos. Multiple witnesses came forward with accounts from earlier that day. A couple reported a suspicious man near the apartment that afternoon. Restaurant staff noted a car driving erratically near the complex. Several residents mentioned unusual door-to-door charity collectors in previous days. The investigation branched into various possibilities. Officers considered a planned abduction targeting the apartment. They examined the likelihood of an opportunistic crime by someone watching the family's routine. They investigated the possibility of Madeleine leaving the apartment herself. They looked into connections to regional criminal activities. Police questioned resort employees, examined security cameras from nearby businesses, and established roadblocks. But precious hours had passed. The Spanish border, just a few hours' drive away, remained open through the night. Local police found themselves managing an investigation that grew more complex by the hour. The British media arrived by morning. Journalists filled the small town's hotels. The story captured international attention, turning a missing person case into a global event. The following days brought more questions than answers. The investigators puzzled over why the twins slept through the commotion. They wondered how someone could enter and exit without being seen. Questions arose about whether the perpetrator knew about the family's dinner routine. The absence of prints on the window presented another mystery. Each question led to new search directions. Each witness account added another layer to investigate. The Polícia Judiciária worked through numerous scenarios, examining every angle of those crucial evening hours. The Portuguese Polícia Judiciária arrived at apartment 5A in the early hours of May 4, 2007. They encountered a scene already altered by the previous night's search efforts. Dozens of people had moved through the apartment: resort staff, friends, concerned tourists. The preservation of potential evidence had been compromised in those critical first hours. British police liaison officers joined the investigation within days. Cultural and procedural differences between the two forces emerged immediately. The Portuguese team worked methodically, questioning why the crime scene hadn't been secured. The British officers pushed for wider searches and media engagement. Jane Tanner's witness account became central to the investigation. She described seeing a man carrying a child in pink pajamas at 9:15 p.m. The man walked hurriedly across the road from the McCann's apartment. Another witness, Martin Smith, reported a similar sighting near the beach around 10 p.m. These accounts shaped the early search parameters. The media descended upon Praia da Luz. Reporters filled every available hotel room. Camera crews lined the streets. The quiet resort town transformed into an international news hub. Portuguese journalists clashed with British reporters over coverage angles. The pressure on investigators mounted with each passing day. In July 2007, Mark Harrison, the National Search Advisor for British Police, recommended bringing specialist detection dogs to Portugal. Eddie, trained to detect human remains, and Keila, specialized in blood detection, arrived with handler Martin Grime. The dogs' reactions created new investigation paths. Eddie signaled alerts in apartment 5A's living room, main bedroom, and veranda. Keila indicated the presence of blood traces behind the living room sofa. These findings led investigators to examine a car the McCanns rented 24 days after Madeleine's disappearance. Reports of possible Madeleine sightings flooded in from across Europe. A security camera in Belgium captured footage of a girl resembling her. Witnesses reported sightings in Malta, Morocco, Spain, and as far away as Australia. Each lead required investigation, stretching police resources across continents. The investigation took an unexpected turn when Robert Murat, a British-Portuguese property consultant living near the Ocean Club, came under scrutiny. His frequent presence around the investigation site and his role as a translator drew attention. Police searched his home, Vila Liliana, just 150 meters from apartment 5A. Murat became the first official suspect, an arguido under Portuguese law. But the investigation's focus shifted dramatically in September 2007. Portuguese investigators named Kate and Jerry McCann as arguidos. This decision stemmed from the dog evidence, questions about timeline inconsistencies, and analysis of cellular data from the area. The announcement stunned the international community. Portuguese investigators examined connections between the case and known criminal networks operating along the Algarve coast. They studied reports of suspicious activities in the weeks before Madeleine's disappearance. Door-to-door charity collectors. Men watching children at the beach. Unusual phone activity in the area. The investigation expanded to examine regional trafficking routes. The Spanish border lay just hours away. Morocco could be reached by boat. Investigators mapped possible escape routes, interviewed port workers, checked security footage from gas stations along major highways. Each new lead branched into multiple possibilities. The dog's alerts suggested one scenario. The witness sightings pointed to another. The phone records painted yet another picture. Investigators found themselves pulling threads that seemed to lead everywhere and nowhere at once. The investigation's scope grew beyond any missing persons case in Portuguese history. International police forces contributed resources. Private investigators joined the search. Satellite imagery was analyzed. Computer systems processed thousands of tips. The Portuguese investigation officially closed in July 2008, but Kate and Jerry McCann refused to stop searching. They established a private investigation fund, drawing support from wealthy donors and public contributions. The fund enabled them to hire multiple detective agencies and maintain a global awareness campaign. Their quest for answers attracted powerful allies. Richard Branson contributed substantial financial support. J.K. Rowling helped establish connections with Portuguese media. David Beckham recorded video appeals. The Pope granted them a private audience, blessing a photograph of Madeleine. The McCanns transformed their search into a structured organization. They created a website to gather tips, established a 24-hour hotline, and coordinated with missing children's organizations worldwide. Their efforts kept Madeleine's story in public consciousness through years of seeming silence from official channels. In May 2011, the case took a new direction. British Prime Minister David Cameron responded to the McCanns' appeal by ordering a Scotland Yard review of the evidence. This became Operation Grange, led by Detective Chief Inspector Andy Redwood. Operation Grange marked a fresh approach. The team reviewed over 40,000 documents. They re-interviewed key witnesses, analyzed phone records, and created new timeline reconstructions. By 2013, they identified 38 potential persons of interest across 5 countries. The investigation's scale grew. Scotland Yard officers traveled to Portugal multiple times. They used ground-penetrating radar to search specific locations. New age progression images of Madeleine circulated worldwide. The investigation cost exceeded £11 million by 2020. June 2020 brought a stunning announcement. German prosecutors identified Christian Bruckner as a suspect. Bruckner, a convicted sex offender, lived in the Praia da Luz area between 1995 and 2007. Phone records placed him near the Ocean Club Resort on the night of Madeleine's disappearance. The German investigation revealed troubling details. Bruckner's criminal history included convictions for child abuse. He traveled between Portugal and Germany in a camper van. His mobile phone activated a cell tower near the resort at the crucial time. German prosecutor Hans Christian Walters made an unprecedented statement: they believed Madeleine was dead. This contradicted years of the McCann's steadfast belief that their daughter might still be alive. The investigation continued, gathering evidence against Bruckner. Today, the search continues. Operation Grange remains active, though with reduced resources. German authorities pursue their investigation into Bruckner. Portuguese police maintain their own parallel inquiry. Kate and Jerry McCann still mark the anniversary of Madeleine's disappearance each May. They keep her bedroom ready, preserved as it was in 2007. Birthday presents accumulate each year. The website continues collecting tips. The fund remains open for donations. The case changed missing persons investigations forever. It sparked discussions about child safety, media responsibility, and international police cooperation. It created new protocols for quick response to child disappearances across Europe. Madeleine would be 20 years old now. Age progression specialists have created images of how she might look today. Her story continues to resonate with people worldwide. Each new development brings fresh hope for answers. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann reshaped how we view child safety across the globe. Parents everywhere reconsidered their vacation habits. Hotels changed their security protocols. Police forces revised their response procedures for missing children. Praia da Luz transformed after that night in May 2007. Tourism dropped dramatically. Local businesses struggled. The Ocean Club Resort renamed itself. Apartment 5A sat empty for years, a silent reminder of that fateful evening. Some residents moved away, wanting to escape the shadow of the events that occurred there. The case sparked unprecedented media coverage. It pushed boundaries in investigative journalism, sometimes crossing ethical lines. Reporters camped outside the McCann's home for months. Every family movement drew scrutiny. Their personal lives became public property. Kate McCann left her medical practice, dedicating herself to child safety advocacy. She wrote a book titled Madeleine, using proceeds to fund ongoing searches. Jerry McCann continued his cardiology work but spent countless hours reviewing case files, meeting investigators, pursuing new leads. The twins, Sean and Amelie, grew up under extraordinary circumstances. Their parents worked to give them normal lives while keeping Madeleine's memory alive. Family photos show birthday celebrations, school events, ordinary moments marked by their sister's absence. Questions linger about that May evening. The window of opportunity seemed impossibly narrow. The chosen apartment particularly vulnerable. The timing precise. Each detail raises more questions. Could someone have watched the family's routine? How did they know when to act? Why did they choose that specific night? The investigation continues, generating theories. Some point to organized networks operating in the region. Others suggest a crime of opportunity. The mobile phone data around the resort that night remains under analysis. Satellite imagery from that period still draws scrutiny. German authorities maintain their focus on Christian Bruckner. British police pursue their own lines of inquiry. Portuguese investigators keep their files open. 3 countries, 3 approaches, 1 goal: finding answers about Madeleine's fate. The case changed police work forever. It highlighted gaps in international cooperation. It exposed weaknesses in emergency protocols. It demonstrated the power and peril of media involvement in active investigations. Today, missing children cases trigger immediate responses. Amber Alert systems span continents. Police forces share information faster. Border controls activate quicker. These changes stem directly from lessons learned in Praia da Luz. The McCanns still maintain Madeleine's website. They still check every credible tip. They still mark May 3rd each year. Their determination never wavered through accusations, setbacks, false hopes, and dead ends. What happened in apartment 5A that night? Did the perpetrator act alone? Will advances in technology or detective work finally bring answers? Share your thoughts in the comments below. But before we close, consider this: how many other missing persons cases deserve this level of attention and resources? Has the intense focus on Madeleine McCann's case helped or hindered the investigation? The answers may lie in how we approach such cases in the future.